All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Minnesota Vikings, one of the best teams in the NFL. In today's video, I just want to say is Victory Monday. It's also a huge critical bye week for the Minnesota Vikings. A couple of weeks ago, I was thinking, damn, you know what? If they go 5-0, if they can actually pull off this 5-0 start, like after week 2 and you take down San Francisco after week 3 against Houston, I'm thinking like, damn, do you really want to buy it 5-0? But then I saw the second half without Aaron Jones, and I'm thinking to myself, I do think it's a really good time to just regroup as a team. This was the fifth time in 5 games Minnesota's defense finished with at least a 5.0 EPA. No team since 2000 has had a longer streak to open a season. I know the offense wasn't pretty, but I do think context is extremely key here. And we talked about this in yesterday's victory recap. But I did want to get into it a little bit more because, first off, folks, you're flying to London. And I said this, I ranted way too long about this in yesterday's video. I have yet to see a football game be played in London or Germany, or at least to my memory in the last couple of years, where it was like an offensive, masterclass production from either one or both teams. So I do think the jet lag and traveling to London and playing a football game there, I think if you can come out with a victory, you should just move on. Like, just move on. Aaron Jones also got injured after the first quarter, and Sam Darnold took a huge hit to the ribs. I'm telling you, man, I don't know the I don't know the injury report because it's a little bit early here on Monday. I got to evacuate to Alabama because of this hurricane here in Tampa. But I have a feeling we're going to see Sam Darnold, something with the ribs because that was a big shot. Anyways, let's get into today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. I do have that Vikings channel. I need to post way more on it. I apologize. I'll link it down below if you're curious. But if we could try and get this video to 250 likes, folks, that would mean the absolute world to me. So the defense won them this football game. And once again, context is important. The Jets struggled mightily offensively. So did Minnesota after the first quarter. But Minnesota was up 10-0 after the first quarter. And it just kind of felt like it was very reminiscent of San Francisco. It was reminiscent of Houston and then Green Bay. And unfortunately, it didn't end up like that Texans game. But in the first 5 weeks of the season, I think it's just way too early to nitpick. I know the second half offense last year was tough, last game against my Green Bay Packers was tough in the second half, but game plans change and you're on the road against the divisional opponent. I just think these are games where you just want to walk away with a victory. I keep seeing way too much like pessimism, whether you're an undefeated team like Minnesota or you're a 1-4 team like maybe Jacksonville. There's just way too much pessimism this year after victories that I just don't really understand. Even my Green Bay Packers yesterday, so many Packers fans were pissed off. Like, if this was week 16, if this was week 17, if this was, week 18, I would understand it a little bit more, but it's a very, very long season and a lot of stuff changes. But once again, this unit was ranked number 1 in DVOA defensively entering this football game. And you intercepted my GOAT, Aaron Rodgers, twice in the first quarter. Now, the Vikings defense wasn't necessarily perfect. Rodgers got into, more of a flow state in the second half. But at the end of the day, they still held the New York Jets offense with Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, a really dynamic duo, to 30 yards on 13 carries. They also sacked Aaron Rodgers 3 times. They hit him 9 times, although I was just reading an article a couple of minutes ago that said you hit Aaron Rodgers 11 times and only sacked him twice. The official sack count to me is 3, and the official quarterback hit count is 9, but I guess maybe it was a little bit higher. You had 3 interceptions. Stephon Gilmore sealed the game with an interception in the red zone. It was actually, when I saw this stat after the game, it kind of blew me away. Gilmore was the only regular season starting defensive back without an interception before Sunday. So if you go back, let's just fast forward actually to the end of the season, no matter how Minnesota finishes, which, by the way, 5-0 teams since I think 1990 have over a 90% chance to make the playoffs. I think Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores, no matter what happens health-wise or game script-wise or whatever, Minnesota should make the playoffs. But I get it. You guys don't want to get too far ahead. And you have a really intriguing home game against the Detroit Lions in 2 weeks that will tell us a lot more about this Vikings team. You go back at that schedule, man, you just beat the San Francisco 49ers, the Houston Texans, the Green Bay Packers, and the New York Jets. Those are 4 of the best defenses in the National Football League. And the way this defense is playing right now, I mean, the sky truly is the limit. But as a lot of you guys were saying, in the comment section on yesterday's recap video, the offense definitely struggled in the second half, but it mainly struggled after Aaron Jones got injured. So he injured his hip in the first half of Sunday's game. He did not return. The Vikings did have 2 key field goals in the second half, but the offense just kind of seemed lost out there. And there were a lot of things, in my opinion, that went into that. There were way too many penalties. I think the Vikings had 11 total penalties pre-snap, post-snap, you name it. The penalties were shafting your team yesterday. Ty Chandler, the backup running back, could not find any open lanes. 14 carries on 14 carries and only amassed 30 total yards. There we go. The pass protection was not the best towards the end of that football game, but keep in mind, you're in a different country, and the rain became a big-time factor, especially in the second half. Now, what I liked was head coach Kevin O'Connell, at the end of the game, he explained that the Jets, their defensive strategy was press cornerbacks, right? Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, to just kind of limit the Vikings' easy targets, the easy short yardage targets. And then if we factor in, Aaron Jones got injured after the first quarter, well, the 14-31 with the injury to Darnold in the rain in a different country with a banged up running back, and it just makes a little bit more sense to see Sam Darnold kind of be the Sam Darnold of the last couple of years. 14-31, only 179 yards, no touchdowns, and interception. There were just way too many times where, in my opinion, Sam Darnold was forcing the football, whether that was because of the press coverage from the cornerbacks, Aaron Jones being injured, whatever it was. There were way too many times where I felt like Sam Darnold was forcing one-on-one to either Jordan Addison or especially Justin Jefferson, and they were getting a lot of penalties called their way because there were penalties in the first half of the game. But once the refs started to let them play a little bit more, if I'm chucking up a 30-yard go route to Justin Jefferson or Jordan Addison, well, now I have second and long, and I have no run game, and they're pressing. So it's like I'm having trouble getting short yardage pass completions. I'm having a ton of trouble running the football, and my first down play is a one-on-one 50 ball, to Justin Jefferson that doesn't convert. And so it's like, all right, now I got second and longs, now I got third and longs, and it just let the Jets be in an aggressive position where they were able to blitz. So to me, I think based on my video yesterday, I think I'm like, this is not like that common of an opinion, but I really hate playing football in different countries. Like, I think the idea is there. I think in theory it's a really cool idea, but I've yet to see a football game outside of my Packers taking on Philly in week 1 in Brazil, or a game in London or a game in Germany, like offensively actually goes well. So at this point in the season, with the Lions right there, with the Green Bay Packers, the Bears caught a win, I'm going to take the 5-0 record with Sam Darnold as my QB and the defense playing the way it is. All right. That's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. I got to get on the road. So thank you for watching. Give me a comment down below. Let's see a team total grade for the first 5 games of the regular season. That's it for me. Peace.